is to bestow the precious Dharma teaching. First, let's pay homage to the lineage gurus. Homage to the Venerable Monk Liao Ming. Homage to Master Sakya Tsongkhong. Homage to His Holiness the 16th Karmapa. And homage to Master Thubten Dorje. Homage to the three jewels of the altar. Homage to the main deity of Homa today, Marici Bodhisattva. Sumo, Tanchen Katso, all Dhamma Masters, all disciples present here and over the internet. Our participating VIPs today, Accountant to Buddha Foundation, Dharma Sister Teresa and her husband. Okay, let me try. Advisor to Overseas Chinese of the Republic of China, Dharma Sister Venice, and from Taiwan Lichang Temple, PR Director, Dharma Brother Fermi Wang, Dr. Ryan Chuang, from National Song Kong University, the EE Department, Dr. Wang Li, and Dr. Louis Lee, Good afternoon, everyone. How do you do? So today we perform the Homa of Marici Bodhisattva. So this is a great Bodhisattva. And they give the wrong information here. This is Mahachundi Buddha Mother. So it's the wrong one. It's okay. So they prepare the wrong material. So let me announce for next Sunday, October 13th, Sunday at 3 p.m. there would be Mahamayuri Homa fire offering ceremony. And Mayuri's mudra inner clasp, and the pinkies straighten out, and the thumbs too. That looks like a peacock or an outer. This is the peacock flying. If it's the inner clasp, that's the peacock. And the sixth syllable is mo. And the short mantra. That's the Mayuri's mantra. And about Marici, Marici has so many Dharma practices, and I have talked about this before. The Maricis would be generating mist, eradicating illnesses, and protecting oneself. So the material now has got here. And this Vajra name for Marici is the Vajra warrior, a majestic warrior, has great power. So she is also called Tomu Xinjing, which is in charge of all the constellations. So all the 28 mansions, the Big Dipper, the 36 heaven, 72 earthly fiends, sky canopies, Surya Chandra Deva. So this is called the Hair Star Lord, or in Taoism, this is called the goddess of the Big Dipper, and in Vajrayana, this is called Marici. And there is a sutra about her, the Marici Sutra, as spoken by the Buddha. And in the sutra, it was written that Marici travels in front of the sun, and Marici is invisible and cannot be seen, cannot be captured, cannot be deceived. Nobody can cheat on her, can never be bound, so you cannot restrict her, cannot be owed. So nobody can steal from her, can never be taken advantage of by enemies. Nobody can cast any spells on her. And the sutra further states, Marici will protect one while is traveling or not traveling, whether it's in a car, on the boat, on the plane, you would be protected. So if you don't travel far, you can also be protected. She can protect you during the day and the night. If someone is not nice to you, you can be protected too. Or if you have lawsuits or disputes, she can also protect you. Or when there are thieves and robbers, she can also protect you. She can protect you at all times and all places. At any time and any place. So she has such power. The Buddha told the bhikshus all mishaps can be eradicated if one writes a sutra by hand, recite the sutra, to understand the true meaning of the sutra, and carries the sutra with you or in your hair or your clothing. So as a hair ornament, you have marichi, or inside the pocket of your clothes. Always carry her with you. Then all evils will disappear. And there's also the craft or carving dharma of marichi. You can carve marichi as big as your thumb. A marichi in the form of a goddess carrying a fan. So marichi in goddess look, holding a fan, and you can have her with you everywhere. Doesn't matter where you go, you will be unharmed. The weather today is very strange. It's been cold for 2 to 3 weeks. And then today, all of a sudden, the great sun is in the sky. And marichi was manifested from the sun. So she travels in front of the great sun Buddha, the great sun Tathagata Vairocana. It had been cloudy and cold for 3 weeks. And it's been cold, everybody wear a lot of clothing, and all of a sudden today, it's really sunny. I thought it wasn't for sure, but sure enough, because we performed this marichi homa. So she gave the spiritual response. Marichi Bodhisattva is a deity where you can quickly gain spiritual union or attain spiritual response from her. She's the one that travels swiftly in front of the sun. Therefore, the sun shows brightly today. And it's a truly sunny day, not like some of the sun. Even when the sun showed up, it was still cold, but only today. Because we happen to have marichi homa. So, this is in Taiwanese. How could it be coincidence? That today we had the marichi homa and we truly had the real sun. There's the carving Dharma practice. legal calamities, like you're being forced due to political issues or from the authority. Second is like stealing, robbery, and thieves. They cannot enter into your house. Why? Because inside your house you worship or you enshrine Marici Bodhisattva. When they got in front of your house, all of a sudden they had tummy ache, extremely bad, and then they said forget it for today, so they didn't steal anything. So you can be protected from this. They stole from here and there, next doors, except your house, because you practice Marici. And you can also be protected from accidents during travel on the cars, boats, planes. You will not have any accidents. You would not encounter any problems. Fourth, it's from natural disasters due to the earth, water, fire, and wind. You know, the Shaolin village in the Kaohsiung city, because of the mudslide, the whole village was gone except 2 houses, and that were occupied by true Buddha disciples who took refuge in Grandmaster Lu, and they did practice of Marici. So when there was the mudslide at that village, it buried the whole village except those 2 houses that were just being pushed very far away. Typically, the mudslide would bury the people and the houses, except these 2 houses that were being pushed to very far away places, and the houses were still standing up. So when the occupant of the houses got out, oh my God, because only the members of these 2 households took refuge in Grandmaster Lu, and they also enshrined Marici Bodhisattva. So she can alleviate calamities due to the natural disasters. So it was reported at the Taiwan Lechang Temple that only those 2 households were saved. Everybody else were buried alive. And they even asked me, how come only us that were protected, why Marici did not protect the whole village? I could not answer that question. And also protect you from weapons and arms. Like if you go into the battle and you carry Marici with you, even when the bullet is shooting toward you, it would curve and miss you. So calamities due to weapons and arms, and they target toward your heart and shoot. And good thing you carry your wallet right in front of your heart, with crocodile leather, so the bullet only went through 2 layers, but your heart was fine. It really happened. I think it's in Auckland. There was a Dharma brother in Oakland, California. And the criminal, he was the driver, and then the criminal shot him. He thought he would be dead for sure because it's in a short distance. He shot him right in front of the car. He was shocked and fainted, and then he woke up, and the bullet happened to hit the talisman, the amulet that he wore. What was his name? Zhang Zehua. Zhang Xie. I thought it's Zhang Xueliang. So he was shot over 10 times, and he's still alive and now become a big boss. So one of the bullets was supposed to hit the artery, but because it hit the amulet, Grandmaster's amulet, he was saved. So that protector amulet. So that's like robbery, right? So shot over 10 times in a short distance, and he's still living. And calamities due to ghosts, demons, and evil spirits. Marichi has such power. Nowadays, many people suffer from illnesses due to ghosts and demons. So if you practice Marichi, then naturally you would be able to alleviate it. And also calamities due to poisons and toxins. You have eaten something poisonous that can be alleviated, but please don't do it intentionally. I have practiced Marichi. Let me buy a bottle of poison and drink it up. And because you want to die yourself, so it's not related to Marichi. But if you were poisoned by someone inadvertently, it can be alleviated. Also calamities due to wild beasts. Like by practicing Marichi and you encounter a tiger, the tiger would be scared of you. The tiger would retreat because the person showed bright light, that his eyes were it was too glaring for his eyes, so the tiger ran away. Or the bear, and you chanted Marichi mantra. Some people say When you encounter a bear, you can pretend to be dead. No, that's the old time. Nowadays, if you pretend to be dead, you would be eaten up. You have to pretend you're bigger than the bear. But we are so tiny, how can we pretend? Simu said, if you go to the forest, then you prepare a whistle. And then you use the sound of the whistle. And you just keep blowing on it. That the sound would be more terrifying than the sound of the bear. Then the bear would turn away. But if you don't have a whistle, then you have to shout louder than the bear. Shout and run at the same time. But if you don't shout, you would definitely lose. And you cannot climb trees because they can also swim. There's nothing you can do. So if you encounter a bear in the forest, and here at the Rimba Villa, in the past there were also bear. Like when you were in retreat and the bear opened the door and the person inside was asleep, and the bear took a look and left because we enshrined Marichi, and that person turned out to be bigger than the bear. And when the bear realized it's bigger than him, he just sniffed around and left. And there was someone else in retreat, and inside the retreat cabin there was a thief that got inside the complex, and then because the door was not locked, and then opened the door and took a look. And that person that was in retreat is here now, a woman. And the thief was a very strong man. Luckily, she was not raped, so she must have been protected by Marichi. Please raise your hand if you're here. She's maybe embarrassed. Also from enemies and evil people. Anyone trying to harm you, they will not succeed. So she has such powers. I remember I have read a novel. There are two neighbors that don't get along, and there's no elevator. You have to climb the stairs, and it's a wooden stairs, and the one at the below floor was trying to hurt the person above him. So before going to work, he rubbed some slippery oil on the stairs. So you're about to go to work, you have to climb down the stairs. And then stepping on it it would be slippery. Just imagine, even water would be slippery, moreover oil. So from top to down. So he did not admit it, so he would harm that person successfully. But if you practice Marici Dharma, then you would be able to avoid it. How? Is there a way that we can avoid it? If someone spread some oil on the steps, like here, you can tell, right? And then when Grandmaster walked down the step, it would fall. And that's a tall, a pretty high staircase. Is there a way? There's no elevator in that building because the building is not very tall. So you can only walk on the steps. The boss all of a sudden made a phone call and said, "You don't have to go to work today." And the oil can dry up, right? He just pour a few steps, and if you step on it, you would roll down the staircase. Because the oil will dry up. Because he brought the oil that dry up right away. Then you can avoid it. How come? How come you cannot even think of that? You let this old man think of it. You're still young. When you're young, you can skip 3 steps at a time. Then you have no problem. So it doesn't matter how people try to harm you, you still can't succeed. Marici has such power. This deity is also like a matchmaker. Ragaraja too. So the male matchmaker is Ragaraja and the female matchmaker is Marici. If you gain spiritual union with Marici, you can tell her that I want to be in spiritual union with a certain deity, and she will help you. And she can protect you. So Marici has signed a contract with the school. So if you practice her, she will protect you. If you do her practice, then she will protect you. A little boy asked his dad, "Dad, what is a girlfriend?" And the dad replied, "After you've grown up, if you're a good boy, then you would have one. But if I'm not a good boy," then Dad said, "then you would have a lot." So Marici is the matchmaker. Now let me continue to expound on Lamdre. Someone asked a question. What is the difference between the differentiating thought in the Qi practice and the differentiating thought of the mundane? Any difference? Because in the Qi practice, there's the thought and there's the differentiating thought. Aren't you still being constrained? And the answer, no. This is the differentiating thought of the Qi. Its other name is differentiating based on practicing the mind purification. Because for spiritual cultivation, for purification, that you generate the differentiating thought. But the mundane differentiating thought has to be cut off. But the differentiating thoughts of the Qi practice is to counterbalance. So they are different. Why do you have to do the Qi practice? Like when you enter Samadhi, why do you have to perform the breathing practice? In meditation, you have to perform the Qi or breathing practice. Very simple. If your mind is calm, then your Qi would be harmonious. If your Qi is very smooth and calm, it's very easy for you to enter into meditation. But if your Qi is turbulent or torrentious, then it's very difficult. Because when you do the Qi practice, you would be focused and concentration. Like why we have to perform the 9-cycle Buddha breathing? Why from the left nostril in, out the right nostril, in the right nostril, out the left nostril, and both nostrils in, both nostrils out? And why do you have to be in full concentration? Why do you have to focus on the nostrils at all time? Why can't you just breathe normally? But by focusing on the left nostril in, left nostril out, and both nostril in, both nostril out, and then in left nostril, out right nostril, etc., is to train yourself to focus on the nostrils. That's the training of the single-mindedness. So the 9-cycle Buddha breathing is the training to focus. So in the right nostril, out the left nostril, in the left nostril, out the right nostril, in both nostrils, out both nostril, in left nostril, out right nostril, etc. Then while focusing like that, you would not be able to have any other thought. Because you are in full concentration. Your focus is on the nostrils, then you would not have any other thoughts. So that's to counterbalance your running thoughts. That's the method to counterbalance. So when you sit down and you perform the 9-cycle Buddha breathing, you will not have any other running thoughts. Because if you have running thoughts, you will not remember. Left, right, left, etc. So this is a training. And it is also a purifying practice. It is to counterbalance. So the thought in the Qi practice compared to the ordinary running thoughts are different. Because you want to practice your thoughts to be pure. Although you both use your mind and you use the power of the mind, but one is for purification, so it's different. So that's no constraint. The verse stated, the discerning eliminates the discerning, the rebirth purifies the rebirth. So the sutra said, we use the differentiating to eliminate the differentiating or differentiation, the rebirth to purify the rebirth. To remedy the differentiating thoughts, the filth cut off by the purified differentiating thought is used as the cause of Vibhosana. And this is called the practice of regarding the mind according to the concept. You use the mind accordingly to cultivate spiritually or to practice.
这个下法是试着去了解那些你。
This is a joke. When you try to sorry, I missed that. For Grandmaster, I should not have any enemies. Why, as a Grandmaster, he should not have any enemies? Because you have made the vow never to forsake any single being. So I'm not apart from sentient beings. So how about those who have left you? It's they who left me. It's not I who left them. So they left me. It's not I left them. Therefore, I often think, because sentient beings have Buddha nature, so you cannot harm any living being because they have Buddha nature. If a person commits suicide, that's sinful because he has killed the tool to attain Buddhahood. Because this person has a Buddha nature, he's a future Buddha. So if he kills himself, it's the same as if he's killing a future Buddha, killing a Buddha. That's why you cannot kill yourself. The Buddha taught us never to commit suicide because you have a Buddha nature. And in the future, with the right and good affinity, by cultivating spiritually, you would attain Buddhahood. So if you kill yourself, that's the same as killing your own Buddha nature. So the same as killing a Buddha. So how could a human being kill a Buddha? Killing a Buddha is a grave transgression. It's a severe crime. So, in Grandmaster's mind, everybody is a Buddha because they have Buddha nature. That in the future, when they encounter good affinity, good teacher who teaches him or her Buddha Dharma, and if he cultivates spiritually in the future, they would attain a Buddhahood as well. How could you despise them? Although they look really despicable, you don't like them at all, or they have slanted eyes. Although they look really skewed and horrible, like our Venerable Juru. He's not so strange. He's just a little bit hunchback, and he walked like that. That's very cute, right? So so I don't dare to be so terrifying or scolding people. We should speak harmoniously, gently, kindly, in order to save sentient beings. Only this way you can deliver sentient beings. So I respect every single being. Although sometimes there's some disciple that have a bad odor or bad mouth. I really despise that. But there are some disciples who came for spiritual consultation, and they had to speak so close to me, and I felt that this side of my face become really stink, and they keep blowing the bad breath. And my consultation room is not that big, so it's like filled with the bad odor. That's why I pay great attention to the hygiene and to my teeth. As soon as they got in, I could smell the foul smell and the bad breath. So I would draw a breath and then hold my breath. I don't dare to breathe in. Then my internal organs would be poisoned. And they kept talking and talking, and I was thinking, come on, stop it. Because you encounter all kinds of people. And although they have bad breath, and they kept talking and talking, and all, I just nodded and okay, come on, finish it quick. But because of the bad breath, you cannot find them disgusting, right? You still have to respect them. Maybe because they don't take care of their hygiene or their oral hygiene. Sometimes I tell them, you should go to the dentist, and maybe you have cavities. Maybe you didn't realize that you have cavities that generate the bad odor. Or some people have problems with their stomach, and the odor came from the stomach. That's nothing we could do, but often I would suggest that they go to the dentist and then check their teeth. I cannot tell them that they have bad breath. They would find Grandmaster to be so disrespectful. I would tell them to go to the dentist, to have your teeth clean. So when I say that, now you know. So Go to the dentist, have your teeth clean. By slightly abiding in it. Let me tell you, when you perform the treasure-based energy yoga and you hold your breath and your thoughts will stop because your mind is on the treasure-based energy. Therefore, the thoughts will come down. So this is a kind of training. So treasure-based energy yoga is also a kind of training. So if this thought of holding the breath has been emptied, it is called the path of cutting off the attachment. So in this, whether the mind is abiding or arising, any other phenomena is like smoke, etc., will rise to spiritual experience. If the mind abides in this, it is called the path of the Bodhisattva. If your mind can abide on one point, then you are walking the path of Bodhisattva. So actually, meditation too is the path of the Bodhisattva. And the most pure is when you have no thought. And when you're pure, that is Bodhisattva. When you are pure, you are Bodhisattva. Also, all the 15 kinds of spiritual experience will be known as such. They don't arise according to the sequence. Recognize the meditation, then maintain it as you like. In sum, eliminate the continual thoughts and attain the initial taste of samodha. It is called the realization of eliminating the poison, and it is to eliminate the poison of realization. So because your mind can be stabilized at one point, when your thought is focused at one point, then your mind will be abiding at that one point. Be single-minded. And then if your mind is abiding in that, that's the path of the Bodhisattva. I find this joke not to be funny, however. Modern day parents are most worried what the son has downloaded and what the daughters has uploaded. That's not a joke, but that's what they worry. That's what they care. A group of men were drinking, and someone all of a sudden had the novel idea. Everyone, let's send a text to respective wives, and only in 3 words, I love you. And then we should watch the response. They're all different. The 20-year-old one replied, I love you too. That's the answer of a 20-year lady, wife. And the 30-year-old wife replied, are you drinking too much? The reply of the 30-year-old wife. And the 40-year-old wife replied, are you sick? And the 50-year-old wife replied, "Are you crazy?" And the 60-year-old wife replied, "So you have nothing better to do?" And the 70-year-old wife did not reply and called the son and said, "Maybe there are only a few days left with your dad." So at different age, their thinking are different. There are too much thoughts going on in this world. So today we learn to make your mind to focus on one thing. Your mind or your thought on one thing, and at that moment you are pure. Of course, that's purity with form, and the more profound one is purity without form, when you have no thoughts whatsoever. If you still have one thought, that's the purity with form. That's all for today on Mani Padme Hum.